and everyone started fucking with him, and then he committed suicide. He shot himself with a rifle or a shotgun. I think it was a rifle inside the restroom. And it's sad that people have to deal with all that. And he was chunky. He was a little bit fat, so it was hard. It was a little bit more hard. It was a little bit more difficult for him to perform the exercises, but he was really, really trying. It's not like he was like doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? He was out there. He was performing his at his best. He was very nice person. Um, timid personality. He wasn't prideful and arrogant. But these people were just angry that they had to do extra exercise drills. So they decided to jump him and hurt him. And it's sad because he was really trying. And like they just didn't understand either. That what's a few extra fucking push-ups, a few fucking extra miles. But they all conspired against him and fucked him up and tortured him mentally to the point where he committed suicide. And I'm surprised that those superior to them all weren't aware of all this, and why they didn't just send him to a different platoon or a different group. But that was back in the day. Things are kind of different now, but um and it's one person. No, it's they believe in um leaving no one behind. And like loving on everyone. So that's what it's all about. It's all about love. And he just, like one person could fuck it up for everyone else. But there's also forgiveness. Um, we have more of a sense of understanding because we have the World Wide Web assisting us, guiding us. We understand what's going on everywhere because we have access to all that. And people didn't labor in vain all these years to have no avail, no real results, so it wouldn't bear fruit. They did it so it could bear fruit, so it could impact people's lives. That's what I strongly believe in. Like God is good, and what people did in the past, FBI, CIA, and all them, they put their lives on the line. They were on the front lines, and they did their best and they are continuing to do that, obviously. But now our jobs everywhere are much simpler. Everything's more easier. Like my friend, he has a little robot. I call him Dusty, but it's called Goofy or something like that. And it's just the vacuum, and it's a robot, cleans the floor. Like we didn't have that back in the day. And then there's self-drivable vehicles. There's a lot of stuff. Autopilot, um, self-parking. Well, car automatically parking, self-drivable vehicles. There's so much stuff. Smart watches. That's new. Be be before smartphones, definitely, because there were smart tablets and all that before cell phones. So it's not um so yeah, so the smartwatches are actually more newer than anything else, and there's still a lot more to come up with. So of course I get frustrated. I feel like a bird that's in a nest that wants to take off and fly. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's prophecy for people to kill me, where like, or that's what other people wish, or that's what people want before me making money and acquiring wealth. They would rather see me dead. Like, you're not going to get your wings here on earth, little buddy. You're going to get them where you're going, in hell or whatever, heaven or wherever, you know. Because if anyone has money, they're going to splurge. They're going to spend it on their own wants and desires. Who the fuck wouldn't, right? I mean, but after a while, it's like, yeah, focus on the mission, Francisco. Focus on what the fuck you wanted to do, and everything that you wrote about, everything that you discussed. Don't forget about that shit. That type of thing. I talk to myself, but those are not the voices that I hear, though. Just to clarify. But I motivate myself. I I I get stressed the fuck out. I get lonely. All that. Like Tupac said, thugs get lonely too. No, but that was a stupid joke. But it's true though. Like, I just get super bored here, but I talk to myself and I convince myself to, you know, to be strong, and I consider my blessings. And I was just like laying here for like 2 hours, 3 hours, in like in the darkness, but not all the way. But I was like, I had my eyes open, but the lights weren't on, so I was only able to see pitch darkness, blackness, and it reminded me of um, Samson in the Old Testament, and he was blind. I think the king that captured him took out his eyeballs, um, and he was blind from that moment on. From that moment on, yeah, and from that time on, um, and then there was other people like in dungeons. They didn't have no light. They were just down there, so it gave them a lot to think about, you know. So I'm just here, like, just thinking all day long, thinking, thinking, thinking. And I don't know if I'm like a slave. I don't know if people out there are profiting off of, like Tupac said, profiting off of my demise, off of my fucking suffering. You know, because there's always a positive and negative reaction. And I don't know if people out there are happy when I'm sad and angry and frustrated when I'm happy and up. It's like we're feeding off each other's energy in the opposite direction, in the opposite form. And it's like it's a bunch of childish shit. Like stupidity, really. It's not even childish because there's some children that are fucking way smarter, more mature than I am. But what I'm talking about is more stupidity and arrogance for people to fight over stupidity, stupid shit. You know, and for thinking that some people are more superior than other people or whatever the fuck. Like that's some demonic type of shit. You know? Like that's not cool. But I don't know what to think anymore. And like every time I'm talking, I don't hear them talking. And I mean, this could have sounded like a joke to them, but it wasn't a joke. You see? So sometimes I say shit and I hear people laughing, like, what the fuck? But I could be tripping out, you know? Or it could be some real, like, Bethel, the school of the supernatural, where people really do have something inside their brains, inside their heads, where they're able to hear and listen. But how the fuck am I really going to know if I don't really know for sure, 100%, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt? How the fuck am I supposed to know? And until then, how should I be reacting and responding and interacting with the rest of the world? Like everything's okay? Like, oh, I'm okay. I don't hear any voices. I'm fine. And I still do that regardless. And I'm still going to do that. Whether or not someone tells me, hey, Francisco, like, you know, you could be fucking operating in the fucking school of the supernatural, you know, or I don't know, they know way more than I do. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the elementary stages of all this, but I've learned a lot. I've studied the Bible. I read the Bible multiple times, and like I just read through Creflo Dollar's notes. Um, you don't need anyone to teach you because the Holy Spirit teaches you all things and leads you to all truth. So, excuse me. So it just proves that I don't need to attend a school. I don't need to kiss no one's fucking ass. But I am, you know, trying to be respectful and all that. But I mean, people get frustrated. I mean, who the fuck wouldn't, right? It's like it's like taking a rich man's wealth and never giving it back to him and trying to convince him to not be angry and not to be frustrated and to be content with the little that he now has. Like, how would anyone be able to recover from that? It would be nearly impossible. But I'm still coming up with inventions regardless of the fact. And, you know, I'm praying that the odds will be for me and not against me. And I mean, because I could have swore that by now I would have had my own house, my own fucking wife and shit, my own children. And like, I don't know if this is some form of fucking experiment, but you know, maybe it is. Maybe they concluded, hey, you know, Francisco is not a father. He can never be a father, even though I am able to uh, conceive children. But I don't fucking know. You know, maybe people just get lucky, you know, and they get married and they buy a house together. I mean, I don't know how all that shit works. You know, I didn't get out till I was 20, 22, and I was cleaning windows for fucking like another 5 years, expecting to make a lot of money to move the fuck out of my friend's house, at least to have my own fucking place, my own apartment, something, fuck. And now with the little that I had left over every month, it just wasn't happening. You know, and it seems like it's the same right now with me. You know, and it's fucking, I don't know, like I feel like people are just out there talking shit like, well, Francisco's just trying to feel sorry for himself and don't feel sorry for him. Like people are just talking shit. And I think everyone understands what the fuck I'm talking about. You know? Because we're not stupid people. We know when the bitch is fucking hating. We know when motherfuckers are hating on other people. We know that shit. And some business owners, they know that because they experience that. They try to be Mr. Nice Guy and they get fucked in the end. And then they realize that it could take a few years, like, oh shit. But eventually they realize shit. You know, so but I believe in the greater good of humanity. So I mean, I'm on the sidelines like, fuck it, you know. They don't want me in the game. At least that's what they call it, right? They call it a game, right? All those innocent people dying accidentally. They call it a game. They call it monopoly money, right? I mean, we will never really know someone's true potential if they are never given the chance to obtain wealth, riches. Then if they fuck it all off, then we'll know, hey, he wasn't even a good investor. Come on. There's a lot of hating ass bitches out there. And we all know this shit. And they're ready to fucking say their remorse stories and the rich people are ready to fucking hire them to go into church to say their sad stories just to put other people down. I mean, we gotta be careful how they strategize. Remember, Punked and Revenge Prank. These motherfuckers are coordinating like a motherfucker. God is God is not fucking around either. He was talking to Satan. Oh, Satan went to God's fucking throne and said, Satan said, have you considered, no, God said, have you considered my servant Job down in earth? And he said, that's exactly why I'm here. And God was like, you know what? Just don't touch him. Just don't fuck with him. Because he's fucking with me. Get the fuck out of here. So he went, destroyed all his family, all his assets, everything. Job didn't have shit. All his friends thought he was crazy. All his friends told him to curse God. I already did all that shit. I already cursed God. I already told all my friends to fuck off. I don't have no fucking friends. I only have my family. And I just talk to them through Facebook. I don't have shit. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then God restored everything to Job. Blessed him double. Gave him double the amount that he had before. I mean, they're coordinating. They're doing some weird shit. I mean, even the glasses that I wear. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking that they fucked up. They fucked up my fucking eyesight on purpose, just so I would have to wear these motherfuckers. And now that I'm wearing them, sometimes I think they fucking tweaked them a little bit, so my eyesight can get fucking even worse. But maybe I'm tripping, just like everything else. I mean, and after a while, what am I going to sound like? Like a clanging cymbal? Like an annoying motherfucker? And what else? Um, I was also thinking I'm going to sound like the um the the person that was like um crying, the crying wolf. You know, where they think I'm just fucking bluffing and talking it out of my ass. Like, I mean, tell that to fucking, who was it, North Korea? When they got fucking nuked because they decided to come over here and fucking attack Pearl Harbor. I mean, they weren't fucking bluffing, were they? Oh shit, are those bombs? Those are bombs coming down from the sky. Ah, no, they're not bombs. Don't worry. Everyone thinks it's a fucking joke, right? Um, and we love North Korea. I'm not. I'm no one special. I love everyone, and of course, I'm just choosing my country because this is where the fuck I was born and raised. But I believe in NASA, world peace, world unity. That's what the fuck I really believe in. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And I'm not fucking around. I have a lot of poor man inventions. I'm building my resume. I mean, people at the end of the day, motherfuckers gonna call it cry wolf, whatever. But is it really crying wolf, or am I just taking my job seriously here? So I'm just patiently waiting for my stacks to roll in. My gold blocks. I'm just waiting. That's my vision board. That's my vision board, my faith and confession. And I'm tired of feeling sorry for myself. I'm not um like I'm not like I'm just tired of feeling sorry for myself, honestly. And I'm fucking tired. But I'm really tired of feeling sorry for myself. And even if I do feel sorry for myself, like we all know that's not going to solve any problems. We all know that that's not going to solve any problem. And there's a lot of motherfuckers out there with a lot of money. And what the fuck are they doing with it? Like all these fucking cameras around here taking fucking pictures of vehicles, presumably because they could the chance, the possibility is there for them to pass a red light, therefore breaking the law, therefore they should be issued a fucking citation, you know? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, and we're all over here fucking slaving it. I was working for the Habit Burger Grill, making like $500 a week. That's, I think, overtime. And then I was even working. Sometimes I would make 700. Sometimes I would make 370 something, like 300 and something, some change. Like working fucking hard, for a motherfucker just to get a ticket and to be confined within, a certain radius without the ability and the finances to go out and travel and do something exciting. It's like, what the fuck are we even here for? So I tripped the fuck out. I mean, I don't blame no one for the actions they take. I don't blame anyone for the actions they take, for what they do. You know, I don't blame any of you. It is what it is, you know. We all know this world is tough and it's hard. And we all know the positive side token of that as well. That has already been addressed. Like they say, you know, only the strong survive. I'm rolling my eyes backwards, looking straight up to my forehead, to my eyebrows. I can see my eyelashes. And it's like, yeah, whatever that means. Because it's a bunch of bullshit. But I've been trying to think positive thoughts. And I know we are immortal beings. So I'm trying not to get impatient. And this life here on earth is just a shadow. I think it's just a developmental procedure for the next step, for the next phase. Maybe I'm ready. Maybe I'm not. I don't really know. Only they know. Satan, Lucifer, and God over there plotting against us, strategizing and shit. Have you considered my servant Job? I'm surprised he didn't say, like, what the fuck are you doing coming before me? Considering one of my fucking created beings on earth. Oh my Jesus. I just don't even know what to do anymore, honestly. But